Hi everyone, welcome back to another review. I have got a gorgeous book to show you today. This is called Spiral of Life and it's by Anna Miarczynska. I know I'm not saying that right, I'm so sorry Anna. But I did review one of her books a couple of weeks ago called Journey to the Sunny Land and it was gorgeous. And I also did a colour along with it as well, and this is the most recent one from her. Now, this is a much larger book than I am usually used to. So let's give it a measure just to let you know how big it is exactly. So we're looking at 29.5 centimetres, which is in inches for our US friends. Just over 11.5 inches. And I think the top is it even bigger or is it the same? No, it's the same. So that's the measurements. It's huge. So just to give you a little comparison, what do I have here to show you? Okay, I've got a Kirby Roseanne's book. So we all know kind of how big Kirby Roseanne's books are. And I'll just put that up against it and you can see how much more of this book that there is. So it is quite large. It's quite substantial of a book. Okay, so it's hardback and it's really thick hardback as well. And on the back of the book is a little bit about it. We've got it in both Polish and in English. It says, "The spiral is one of the oldest symbols in the world. Let's not be deceived by its simplicity though. It conceals an extraordinary wealth and depth of meaning. We find it in many cultures across every era. It was carved, chiselled or painted on rocks for thousands of years on every continent. It's a beautiful symbol of the rhythm of life and human spirituality. It's universal and multidimensional. I express my fascination with the spiral theme in my work. It came about slowly, gradually, over the years, which explains the variety of styles. Now gathered together and presented on the pages of this book, they are my invitation to you. Let's enjoy this creative process together, have fun, experiment and observe nature meaningfully, her secrets, natural phenomena and laws." So there you go. That's your little bit about the book. Now, when this book arrived, I was a little bit puzzled because the cover came, well, it didn't come separately, it came in the same package, but it was separated from the actual pages of the book. So all of the pages were in a sort of block together, and then the cover was completely independent of the pages. Now, what I've done is, just for myself, you don't have to do this, is I have glued the last page to the page on the cover. So the cover included this page. It's really difficult for me to show you, but the cover included a loose page on the back that was attached, and I glued it to the back page of the block. So it is now a book, but it's not stuck to the spine or anything like that. So you would get your block of pages and you would get your cover separately in the same package. And you can glue them together like I've done, or you can keep it as a loose block that you can just tear pages off that you want to do. I hope I've explained that right. You know what I'm like for explaining things. Okay, so here's the front of the block. And again, it just tells you all about the symbols of spirals. And I think it's the same kind of thing she was saying on the back. Softly undulating organic lines, twining, climbing plants, all sorts of spiral shapes. So that's what you'll see throughout the book. Okay, now the book follows this format. On the right hand side you've got the illustration, and on the left hand side facing it you've got the title of the illustration and a little bit about it. So this one, for example, is called Flower of the Sun. Many leaves and flowers recreate simple cycles while creating their patterns and branches. So it is a sunflower, and you can see the circular spiral nature of the sunflower. She's also holding what looks a bit like a dream catcher inside a sunflower, and just beautiful. The paper itself is very, very thick. Let's do the ping test. You just know it's a good thickness when you can hear that ping. And it's kind of, I think it's bright white. I've got like yeah, it is. But because my light above is quite a warm light, sometimes I find it difficult to see, but it is bright white paper and it's on this block. So that means that it's lay flat binding all the way through. You can see this is completely flat, and it's also very easy to remove your pages. They're just glued together at the end and you can remove them. Okay, this one, make sure I've got you on screen because this book is so big. There we go. This one is called the Flower of Infinity. What is the Flower of Infinity? Continuity of time, a bridge between worlds, a symbol of unlimited possibilities, potential, growth, or an everlasting feeling. So this is what we have. We have the spiral of the Flower of Infinity and how it can go on and on and on. So lots of big petals to practice your colouring on, lots of nice hair to do, and of course skin. And all of the ladies featured in this book have some very light grayscale shading so that you can have a head start on where to put your shadows. This is called the Scent of Full Bloom. A flower in full bloom is like a focus point, emitting waves of scent. Each flower possesses its unique fragrance, a whirling dance of molecules. So it's all very interesting. It's all very, what's the word I'm looking for? That's kind of like spiritual, new age, that kind of thing. It's really nice. This is called Sisterhood. How are we connected? Our life paths cross. It's like a dance of two, of many beings. We intertwine yet preserve our individuality. Every step, gesture and thought creates a new pattern. This is lovely. It's got a spider on it. It's called Guardians of the Forest. It says, nature is full of secrets worth unveiling. The code of life is inscribed into every thread of a spiral spider web. It's incredible when you think about it, how spiders build their webs and the gorgeous intricate patterns of them. It's one of nature's miracles, isn't it? But look at all this beautiful hair. She's obviously some kind of elf creature. She's got the pointy ears and just the curls and coils of her hair. We've got, I'm not sure what these leaves are around. They kind of remind me a little bit of ivy leaves, but a bit bigger. This is called the Spirit of the Fern. Why can plants create shapes consistent with the logarithmic spiral? What is, hang on a minute, I've read that wrong. The logarithmic spiral. I've never heard of that before. Why do we consider them beautiful? So if you know what the logarithmic spiral is, please do write it in the comments. But yeah, it's so natural and so flowing, this book. It feels very organic. This is called In the Thicket of Dancing Grass. The grass seems to dance in the pulsating rhythm of nature for the pure joy of life. Each blade moves in its unique, fluent, whirling motion. So her hair is almost intertwined with the different grasses here as well. And we've got this cute little dragonfly. This is called Lacy Facelia. Lacy Facelia? Are the flowers arranged in spiral vertical twists as an ornament or a functional pattern to attract bees, butterflies, and other pollinating insects? Nature harmoniously integrates form and function. So I guess what she's trying to say is this kind of spiral shape and having the nectar of the flower on all sides of the plant is more attractive to bees to reproduce and pollinate. So that's interesting. This is called Madam Lily. Fascinating, elegant, majestic flowers, complex structures mirroring geometrical principles and patterns, or maybe spiral cups performing a practical function in the act of pollination. Beauty and biological efficiency in one. You can see all these gorgeous lilies. This one's a fair bit darker than some of the others. And this is the one that I've coloured. I'm going to move you out of the glare as usual. It's called The Treasure of the Undersea Princess. Shells are probably the most impressive manifestation of existence of the logarithmical spiral, there it is again, in nature. The spiral pattern is not only aesthetic, it's a fortified construction, optimization of growth, protection against predators, wave action, or sea currents. So yes, I coloured this one. What did I use? I think it was luminance, maybe some Prismacolor. Yeah, it was luminance, Prismacolor, and maybe some Derwent Lightfast as well, if I remember rightly. I always forget. But yes, it was a joy to colour this, and it was my first attempt in doing this different skin tone, this kind of alienish skin tone. And yeah, I had great fun doing it. So I hope you all like it. I had a lot of nice comments from everybody on the photograph on Instagram, so thank you for that, and on the Facebook page as well. So this is called Ammonites, a page from the creator's notebook. Ammonites, sea cephalopods, oh that was good, Sea cephalopod building spiral chambered shells that lived during most of the Mesozoic era and became extinct about 65,000 years ago toward the end of the Cretaceous period. The same characteristics figure of the equiangular spiral has appeared for thousands of years. It's an example of how in nature evolution does not go hand in hand with greater complexity. So yeah, the ammonites that you might see, the fossils on the beach that are kind of around a spiral like that, you'll also see those echoed in plants and all across nature. So it's quite interesting, this book, as well as there being beautiful illustrations, gorgeous production, you know, the paper quality, the cover, everything is gorgeous. This is a book that you'll want, and I'm sure that you'll treasure. It's called The Multiverse, this one. And it says, although the same mathematical curve appears on every shell, nature creates them in all shapes and sizes, which of course we know, we've seen so many different shells on our walks on the beach. And I like the fact that within this, I'm not sure whether it's well, this is a shell, and then we've got whatever this is coming out of it, leaves, or I'm not sure, but inside this we've got little buildings and just little impressions of trees and flowers. So there's lots to see, and this is a gorgeous portrait as well. This one's called Suspended in Time and Space. Motionless is just an illusion. There would be no life without motion, no manifestation of any of its aspects. The whole structure and dynamic of the universe would not exist without motion. So this is what you can see, the motion that you see in a spiral shape. You know, it's very organic, very natural. And this is lovely. This is almost like a goddess looking down on the universe. This is the one from the front cover of the book, as you can see. And it's called The Gift of the Phoenix. The spiral, a symbol that expresses the search for the source of our existence, depicts the journey to the outside world and the return within ourselves. I love that. That's really nice. And this has a very native look to it, doesn't it? Native American, the feathers and the headdress and everything. It's beautiful. This is number 15. It's The Power of the Rising Wave. Why do whirlpools in streams, rivers and oceans look like they do? Why do they not adopt a different pattern? Yeah, that's true. Why do we have whirlpools again? That spiral, that circular nature. It really gets you thinking. And you might start identifying and spotting more spiral shapes in nature once you've read this. This is called The Crystal Spiral and Time of Choices. Let's look at the arms of tropical cyclones, hurricanes and tornadoes, whose shape emerges from the rotational movement of the air current. Let's look at the spiral structure of galaxies and then take a leap into the microscale, the double helix of the DNA, built in divine proportion. Do you know on which time spiral was that? So yeah, it's really, really interesting. Look at this wave, and then the geometrics of the wave. Gorgeous. It's very unique, this book, as well. Everything is in motion. How do galaxies, stars, planets, solar wind particles move? The Earth chases the eluding sun in a spiral, circling movement, just as the sun does in relation to the centre of the galaxy. The moon chases the eluding Earth in a spiral, circling movement. All of us, including our strands of DNA, spin whirling, which is not apparent to the naked eye. We chase the spinning Earth centre in a spiral movement. The electrons whirl in a spiral movement around its atoms. Everything spins in the space-time of our universe. It is the most popular hypothesis on the genesis of the universe, giving an insight to what it is. So again, this is almost like a goddess. We've got the whole of the galaxy in the universe sort of behind her. Here you can see the Milky Way, the spiral, and it started off very small, this book, you know, with all the little shells and a sunflower, some very accessible things, and now we've kind of zoomed out and moved out into the larger universe. This is called Beauty is Born. Nature transforms, evolves and blossoms, creating beautiful, harmonious aesthetic forms, often based on spiral patterns. The forms develop form one point toward outer edges. Is it just an ordinary process or an extraordinary, miraculous one? This is lovely. Just look. It just makes you think about things that you see in normal life, and you'll end up seeing the spirals in them. It's almost like, did you read that manga? That's a bit scary though. There was a manga comic by Junji Ito, and it was called, is it called Spiral? It's called Uzumaki, which I think means spiral, but that was really creepy. It was about seeing spirals everywhere, but it kind of reminded me of that, when there's just so many kind of spiral shapes in life that you don't think about. This is called Triskelion. A spiral is a simple symbol representing great concepts like consciousness or creation. A triskelion is a triple spiral which symbolises dynamics and constant movement and change. It's identified with the movement of the sun, sunrise, zenith, sunset, passage of time, past, present, future, the elements, water, fire, air. It's one of the oldest protective symbols found in different corners of the world and many belief systems. Among the Slavs, it symbolised life, resurrection and rebirth. And this is just stunning. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. I love how it's contained in this circular border. And that is the last page of the book. So there are 19 illustrations here. They're all numbered. And yeah, I don't know what, oh no, it's not the last page. There's 20. Right, okay, we've got one more. It's 20, The Mystery of Fractals. So that's so funny. I could have sworn that was the last one. Right, this one says, nature hides great secrets. Will we ever discover them all? The deeper we go, more questions arise. Nevertheless, we see the spiral motion and the shape of the spiral all around the world. In nature, in the space around us, on every level, it intrigues and fascinates us. It challenges mathematicians, inspires architects and artists. It brings together representatives of different scientific disciplines and art. Many ideas, projects, architectural works and artwork came into being inspired by observing nature, written in the language of mathematics, harmony and beauty. That was a better ending, wasn't it, to the book? And this is almost like a tree of life kind of thing going on here. Just gorgeous. And that definitely is the end, because this one's the one that's glued. So we've got 20 illustrations in the book, and they're on big scale. You couldn't get better paper, you couldn't get better production, really. It's a very, very, very nice book. I think it's something that a lot of people will want to have in their collection, and they will treasure it. It's just gorgeous. So really hope that you've enjoyed it. If you can, if you're wanting to buy this yourself, you can go onto DecoMade. Here, DecoMade. It's a Polish company that produces and publishes colouring books and other things. And this is where you'll find this book. So I'll leave the link for DecoMade in the description, so you can have a quick click, have a look at the book, see what you think, if you want to buy it or not. But I would love to hear all of your comments about it in the comment box below. So do let me know, and I will see you very soon on Colour with Claire.